Moving on. So, because of this digital bank licensing thing being a new change that's being introduced, it's definitely gonna impact the finance industry, right? This part, we're gonna investigate what the near and long term impacts are. Also, because Hong Kong started this first, we're gonna investigate how it's gonna affect us differently compared to them. So I did some research, and this guy called Nick Lord, who is like the head of Asian research, said that he doesn't think that digital banks will have a huge impact on Singapore banks for now. This is because they have some pretty strict criteria to adhere to in terms of restrictions, which creates these really high barriers as to what they can do. He also said that demand in Singapore is still a question mark. To be fair, what can they do that DBS, OCBC, or UOB haven't already done? These banks have already invested long in technology and already far ahead when it comes to its advancements. People here are already well served, and it's going to take some time for them to build trust with customers and capture a meaningful amount of core deposits. But in the long run, it is hoped that with increased competition from the virtual banks, it could push the current banks to move much faster into data-driven strategies that look beyond the traditional boundaries of the bank itself. It also hopes to build better digital engagement and customer experience for both retail, corporate, and SME customers to ensure customer retention and eventually move the country into a cashless society. They also wish to use this opportunity to be used as a testing bed for new entrants before they launch operations into more lucrative markets in the region. Banks will face risks if they start to relax their underwriting standards or underprice risks to capture or defend market share. When compared to Hong Kong, the underserved market here is fairly smaller compared to how it is there. Hong Kong has a low banking penetration and a clear financing gap. And because of how dispersed people are in those markets, digital banking will come in and be a game changer in the region. Customer reluctance in terms of changing their banking and financial service providers here is also higher compared to those in the other Asian countries because what they have at the moment currently works, and these banks have been in the business for many years already. So, it's definitely not going to be easy for these digital banks to just swoop in and immediately claim victory, because they're up against some pretty tough competition. Not to mention, it's gonna be a long road ahead of them before they can truly succeed.